So in another 2-3 minutes, we'll be starting the class. Okay. Okay. Just give me 2 minutes time. Huh?
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, okay. No.
Mm. Okay. Let's start. Okay. One sec. Two. Benefits.
In the UK, 1 in 4 people experience mental health problems.
So let me start. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. Is it showing, Kabiru?
No, ma'am. Yeah, it is showing
It's
now. It
not
is
showing
showing.
now. Okay, it's showing now. Okay, fine. Okay. Um,
Yeah, it is visible now. It is visible.
So, a very good morning to all the learners. Okay, thank you so much. So, a very good morning to all the learners in today's program. So we will cover 3 chapters. I mean 3 units, and those 3 units include your unit 19, that is transfer, promotion, and reward policies. Then we have the next unit, that is unit 20, that is disciplinary issues and grievance handling. how to handle grievances in the workplace. And the third one is Unit 21, that is compensation and salary administration. So, moving to the first, after going through this unit, transfer, promotion, and rewards, you'll be able to know, when you give your best. Yesterday we learned about the productivity of an employee, how the counseling has to be done, how you would put your best efforts, and performance appraisals. They are very typically conducted on annual basis. Most of the organizations, they conduct on annual basis, although some organizations, they may conduct maybe more frequently, maybe 2 3 times in a year. But they are an important tool for managing and developing the talent, retain the talent of an organization, and can help to ensure that the employees are aligned with the organization's goals and objectives. So, after going through this unit, you should be able to understand the purpose and reasons behind transfers and promotions. What are the changes in organizational structure necessitating transfers and promotions, and exigencies arising out of expanding activities, and requirement of retraining on transfers or promotions in view of changing technology, automation, and electronic revolution. So, why there's a need for transfer policy? Now, see, the first thing is, transfer, promotions, and reward policies. They are very important components. They are being considered as very important components of an organization's human resource management strategy. You can say these are all strategies. Yesterday also I told you, these all fall under strategies. You have to plan it, then you have to make a strategy how to you can retain the talent right from the selection, then the facilities, the benefits that is being given, how to retain, and all those, that is very necessary. Now these policies are basically designed. Why these policies are designed? These policies are designed to ensure that there is a fairness, there's transparency and consistency in the way employees are being transferred, promoted, as well as rewarded for their contribution to the organization. Yesterday, I gave you some examples. You are working in a location, then you may be transferred to a new location for your project, and maybe at a when you are being transferred, you may be transferred on a promotion. Sometimes you go at the same level, maybe sometimes it's like, this I mean, vary from organizations to organizations. Suppose you belong to one state of the country and you wanted to get transferred to another state, that is your home state maybe. And if the same organization is there, then you can apply for the transfer. So within the organization, these transfers are possible. Sometimes what happens, that is one case. Then another case, maybe you have performed well. Depending on your appraisal, you should be given a promotion. So because since you have got the promotion, then you are transferred to another location. Okay, because sometimes what happens when you get a promotion and in the same organization, your subordinates, they were not, oh, he was at our level, they did not pay that much respect or value your words. That is what I mean to say. They do not value your words and all. So what happens, and this is not only that, because sometimes corruption also happens, especially if you're in the administrative services and all. You have to have transfers, you get transfers to different locations. Not only the administrative service, but there are many services in our country where you, like the railways, there also you get transfers. So there are many organizations, even in the defense service. Like in defense, it's very strict, like every 2 or 3 years you get a transfer, you are being transferred to a different place. So sometimes what happens, these transfers are on a promotion basis, or sometimes it is at the same level. Now why this transfers taken place? So that there is a consistency, then there is fairness, there is your transparency in the way the employees are transferred, promoted, and rewarded for their contributions to the organizations. Now, this transfer policy, they basically outlines the process from moving employees from one location to another location, or maybe from one department to another department, within that same organization. So sometimes it happens the organization is at the same place, they can transfer you from one department to another department. Sometimes they may relocate to you to another location of the same organization. Now this policy, when we are talking about a transfer policy, this policy should include the guidelines for determining when a transfer is appropriate. And when you get a transfer, you are being given some other benefits, because if you're relocating to a different place, as per the company's choice, not as per your own choice, but as per the company's choice, then there are some company guidelines. You are being given benefits like, like you get many facilities, like moving from one destination to another destination. You have to shift your family, you have to shift your belongings and all, so they pay all those charges and all, whatever shifting process takes place and all. Then of course you have been given some other facilities, the your travel allowance, you get your transfer allowance, then you are being your accommodation and all. So those things are being, it varies from organization to organization. So basically this transfer policy, they outline the process of basically moving employees from one location to another location, or from one department to another department in the organization, within the organization. Now this policy includes guidelines for determining when a transfer is appropriate, when you need. So when a transfer is required, maybe in the other place there is a, the person the person has superannuated, so you are moving to his place. So that can be, I'm just an example. So the process for requesting a transfer and the criteria for evaluating transfer request, that varies. And it should, why, what are the issues it should address. Like the issues they address includes like seniority, maybe as per the seniority position you are being given a promotion, so you have to move. So one is seniority, then another is your performance, of your job performance was up to the mark, you bought business for the organization, so they may wanted to relocate to another place where the business is low, and they think you are working in a organization and you have brought lot of business, the revenue was quite huge, the revenue has increased in that particular location. So they think that you have those qualities, you have performed well, so you should be moved from one destination to another destination. So as I told you, it should include all the issues, I mean it should address all the issues such as seniority, then your job performance, and the impact of the transfer on the employee's career development. Because once you get, you are being promoted and you get a transfer to a different place, so that has a very positive impact on your career development also. So this is how. Now shifting of personnel is also necessitated by employee turnover. So as I told you, superannuation or something, or sometimes the I mean the staff in that company has already resigned from that company. So in that case, you are being, so when it is that's known as turnover. So employee, so it is necessitated by employee turnover. Then what are the vacancies that is being created by the resignations and dismissals, and when suitable persons are found as per that position, they are being promoted or transferred to fill the vacant post. So change in employee status, there is always a change in the status of the employee, and job also is also very necessary to satisfy employee aspirations and needs. Suppose you are working with a company which has a the head office is located in the capital city of the country, and in other metro cities the office is also there, but the head office is located in the capital city of the country. So in that case, you are being transferred, okay. So why you are being transferred? Because you have to, there is some there is a vacancy is being created. So once you are working in the you are there are once you are being shifted to a corporate office, that is the head office, so that also gives you much job satisfaction. And not only job satisfaction, that is also gives an employee status. So that is why change in employee status and job is also very much necessary to satisfy the employee aspirations and needs, which is very important. Now, what are the things like, what the transfer policy should consist of? Now, this transfer policy should consist of the following elements: a clear, delineation of the conditions and the circumstances under which an employee can be transferred. Like these are the why, these are the elements. You can say these are the factors why a the factors which fall under transfer policy. A clear delineation of the conditions and circumstances under which an employee can be transferred. Then would the organization permit, both in terms of technology as well as job relatedness, and from an individual's point of view? Now, the transferability of both jobs and individuals should be examined in terms of job description, interdepartmental divisions. Now, here comes the word of job description. See, whenever you are being selected and then you are being given the job offer, so everything is mentioned there. Like what is your job description, what is your position you have joined, and there they have also they mention the do's and don'ts, depending on the requirement. You may be transferred to a different place, so that everything is mentioned. So as per that, you have to agreed on the guidelines that is being provided in that is being reflected on the job offer letter. So this is very important. That is the reason, it is being mentioned in the job description. Okay, so therefore policies on these aspects must be clearly stated. That is the reason why it is mentioned. All these policies, we are talking about transfer policy, so all these policies must be clearly stated. Now the third aspect is a consideration on the basis of transfer. That could be on the, what are the basis? That should be on the basis of the seniority, then as per the merit test, especially if it is a production job, or it should be on the basis of seniority alone, assuming minimum ability to handle the job. Because once you are senior, you have gained a lot of experience, you come to know about many things, how to handle. Maybe in an office we are handling 20 persons, but now you are being shifted, you are being relocated, transferred to a corporate office where 40 or 50 people will be working under you. So this varies as per your experience. They think that the company thinks that you are able to handle them, so on that basis they give a transfer to you. Organization initiated transfer. A company may initiate transfers for the following reasons. So, what are reasons where a company may initiate, where they think this person should be transferred to a different location? The reasons behind are the need for temporary adjustments for the convenience or benefit of the organization as well as the employee, such as leave replacement or very short time assignment, especially those who are in the IT industries and all. They are being given projects, so they get the it's I mean, when you are working on a project, basically, whether you are in the IT or in the finance department or in the marketing or in the operational department, when you are being given when you work on a project, basically, now this project you have to first take the project. There are some rules, guidelines and all. Then you have to initiate that project, then you have to accomplish the project. You have to initiate the project. In between there, you have to get it, you have to do the setup, and then once it is being run, when it is being operated, then you have to ensure that the project is being the project is being completed. Okay, so that is very important. You have to initiate the project and also get the project completed. So in this, that sometimes it's a very short term project, maybe 3 months, or sometimes it can be 6 months. But if you think that no, it's a like maybe 2 years and such, so in that case you have to it would take some time. So these rules, guidelines are being mentioned. The company has a the company discusses all these do's, don'ts, what are the job description and all, and they decide to transfer. Moreover, what happens usually, it varies from company. When they think, this suppose this location needs young talents, so what happens, they try to relocate the young talents to that. Sometimes what happens, they find, no, this is a location where senior person should be there, should be moved to, because he has lot of experiences and all. Sometimes the case may be the person, the person, the staff, the employee belongs to that belong to that particular location, so he on his own choice wanted to. So these depends on, okay. Sometimes what happened to meet the emergencies or changes in operations, now deal with fluctuations in work requirements, and necessitated by volume of output or separations. So these are quite few reasons why the transfers take place, and to make use of the increasing versatility and competence of key employees, because it's not like sometimes, there is, like as I told you, especially those who are in the finance companies, or those who are in the banking services, when they are usually those who are in the supervisory level and all, they for them, transfer is not that and impactful or very necessary as such. But those who are in the managerial position, especially in a very high level position, for them transfer is very very important, especially those who are in the banking services. Every 2 3 years they are being transferred, and even the location is, sometimes is the like eastern zone, sometimes northern zone, south zone, west zone, it is being divided. Suppose you are in the eastern zone, so you will be located. What happens in, suppose, especially the doctors who are joining the government, especially these doctors, after completion, especially when the government, makes there are applications, I mean, that's filled up by the doctors, then they are being selected. So usually this government, what they do, they send the young, because those, they have just completed their internship and they have joined the government. So what happened, the government try to send them to the rural locations means villages. So what happens sometimes, especially the youngsters, suppose, they are from the cities and all, they don't want to go to the rural locations, because they don't get that comfort zone, because everybody, somewhere the other wants to work in the comfort zone. But it is a mandatory, if you are if you wanted to work for the government, and if you are a doctor, you are being selected by the medical association, then your first 3 to 4 years you have to work in a rural area, that's being meant necessary. Now this, what happens when these youngsters, they don't want to join this, because when you go to a village, it will really become very difficult. I mean, those who are born and brought up in city life, born and brought up in cities, they experience a city life, they think they don't want to go to the rural areas. But the government has made it very compulsory, if first 3 to 4 years you have to go to and work in the village area, rural areas, and maybe after experiencing of, so I mean, so many years, they transfer you to the city. So these all, situations depends on the companies. And I also gave you an example of the banking services, those who are working in the banks and all, for them, it is compulsory. Like once they are in the eastern zone, they are working in the eastern zone, so there are transfers in the eastern zone. Now when they are promoted at a higher position, so there is interzone transfers are there, means from one zone, from maybe eastern zone to the northern zone. So this also happens. I mean, this is where they find, that the vacancies develop. At the same time, once you have the experience, you can handle, your productivity was good, what yesterday we discussed, see, everything is interrelated, your productivity was good, then they try to shift to your another location, so where you can bring some changes to the organization, where your contribution to the organization really matters a lot, okay. That is why, that is why it is mentioned, key competence of key employees, how competent you are, that what matters very much when you are being transferred. So that is also one of the criteria. Where there is more than one shift and shift assignments are not rotating, transfers are also made from one shift to another on the same type of work. Then to manage new responsibilities, sometimes new positions are being developed, and they think, suppose an employee, he is taking care of the operation, but it was found by his employer that he's not only an operational competent enough, but he also can help the marketing team. He's a good marketing sales and marketing executive. So what good sales and marketing personnel. So what they does, they transfer him where they need, depending on the situation, depending on the arena. They find, this is the potential person, this is the employee who has all the potential, and he can bring a better change for the organization. So in these type of situations, transfers takes place. Now comes promotion. You want to get ahead, everybody wants in their life that we
Hello,
should.
ma'am. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, tell me.
Okay, please, it appears to me that like there will be a relationship between the internal recruitment and this transfer policy. Is there any relationship between the two?
uh, I couldn't get you. Can you just repeat the question? Yes, Kabiru, can you repeat the question? You told about the transfer, there are within the
What I say,
organization.
yeah, what I said is that what I it appears to me that it's like there will be a relationship between the internal recruitment and the transfer policy.
Yes.
So please, I need a more light about the
Huh.
relationship.
Okay, okay, huh. Yes. See, now these, recruitment, that is as a reason HR is very important for an organization, HR department. Now, see, I cannot just transfer you from one point to another. There's, as every organization. Suppose now there are. Suppose I work for a university. So this university is only in one state in Orissa. But now there are many universities. What happened? They are having the, suppose you take the Amity University. You take an example of Amity University. Okay. You take the example of IGNO. Okay. You take the example of IGNO. So IGNO has offices, regional centers, offices all around the country. It is not only in the rural areas, but also in the urban areas. It's not only in the urban areas, but also in the rural areas. The main head office, IGNO's main head office is situated in Delhi. That is the capital city of the country of India. But beside that, they have centers all over the state. Now, that is within the state. After that, they have also offices. Now they have developed, they have created other offices in the rural areas also. They have also created offices abroad also. That is the reason why you are studying. There's, international office which is there located. So what happens? The head main every department, like wherever it is the regional center, like I am working for the eastern region. Okay. So regional center, the regional center is located in the Orissa, that is capital city of Orissa, that is Bhubaneswar. Now there is always an interrelationship. They have their own HR department, and the other, there is also a department in your the main head office is in Delhi. So whenever there is a, within the state or within the region, there is a transfer or something, or promotion. So when you are being given promoted, you are being transferred from one department to another department. Now every office has their HR department, but this HR office, they have all their informations. They have to send all their informations to the main office of Delhi, which is located in Delhi, HR Delhi. So that is the reason, small, it's a cluster. You can say it's a cluster. So cluster of organizations where, each office has their, like if you go to Bhubaneswar office, they have their HR department, they have their accounts department. Yes, fine enough. But this HR department has full, they are always in touch, in contact with the main head office, that is in Delhi. So whenever there is, if there is an interrelated, within the office itself, then it takes place within the HR department located in the particular office. But if a transfer takes place, suppose the, regional manager, regional director gets transferred to a different department, then these all goes to the main head office. So all the main like regional director getting from one getting transferred from one zone to another, this information is there with the head office. But suppose you are now working with the accounts department, now you are being shifted to the suppose finance, there is another departments, suppose you are being shifted to the IT department, you are working for the accounts department, but they find you are more competent enough to handle the IT. So that is an inter-department. So within the office only, within the organization, interdepartment. So that process takes place within that office. But when you are relocated, my question is, when you are relocated to a different place, then all those is being handled by the head office. Understood? Hope I could answer, clear your answer your question. Is it okay, Kaberu?
Yes, ma'am. But what I would like to know is that
Hmm.
is there any relationship between
Hmm.
the internal recruitment and the transfer policy, the transfer that usually take place during the days of just on the, I mean, for the employer, maybe you are in Bhubaneswar Regional Center in Orissa, and also you are
Hmm.
transferred to Delhi main center, regional center.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh. Head
sometimes it
office.
happens. Yeah, sometimes it happens we transfer the person or the employee, I mean, but not on that transfer policy. They can use internal recruitment process to take him to that
See,
Delhi office.
yes, see, intern, whatever, see, recruitment, IGNO is a government of India's organization. So for them, these are very strict policies. They cannot recruit anyone, even if it is a, class 4 staff, or, even at the lower level, they cannot recruit without the information, whether the message is there from the head office. So whatever information they are, when it is always when you are in the head office, you have accessibility to many things, which the regional center is being given this much. If any recruitment takes place, they have to take there should be a proper application, proper interview, and everything that is being handled by the main office. But yes, they are being also given some you can say contingency, all those things, like they can recruit someone maybe for cleaning purposes and all, which is a daily wages. They can do something on daily wages. But once you are in the salary structure, salary package, that is that university has everything for the, same. So that main recruitment process that takes place from the head office. That is because they have different. So whenever if you want to recruit the regional center may wants to recruit a, for this IT professional. So they cannot recruit on their own. They have to inform the HR at Delhi office, IGNO Delhi office. They will give an advertisement and they will mention the position. This is where it is necessary, with the salary structure, with the minimum qualifications, experience required, and they would also mention location. These are the places where location. So as per that, whenever it's a question of all this. Employment, in the sense recruitment and all, so it is handled by the main head office. But because head office has their, many things are under their control, so they feel like whatever they feel like they can do there. But at the same time, regional center has also been given some access, how they can recruit. But without recruitment, all this process, if you are under the IGNO's pay scale, then it should be a proper recruitment. But there are also many people who are working in these government organizations who are under a, they get a salary, that's a consolidated salary, that is what they are under, the consolidated salary. They are still not permanent employees of IGNO. They are not in the pay structure of IGNO. So once you are in the pay structure of IGNO, you get all the benefits, you get all the perks, everything is there. But what happened, as per their requirement, they think that they need someone, So they take the permission and they are being given, oh, this is a consolidated salary. So you have been given a consolidated salary like. So that is how what happens. There you won't get any promotion or any other, everything. So what happened? I'm giving you just a small example. Now what happened? Not only in government organizations. I mean private organizations. It is there, especially is the banking services and many IT companies and all. They give it to outsourcing companies. Outsourcing companies in the sense they give outsourcing is a company. For example, Sodexo. Sodexo is a company. Then JLL, you can see also. These are the companies. These are facility companies, facility management companies, and they do all the outsourcing. So suppose I'm giving you have heard of Infosys. You are working for an IT company. Okay, you are working for an IT company, and there are there's a staff canteen over there. Now what happened? Those who are working in the staff, those who are working in the canteens, they have a very good canteen, no less than a restaurant, like like well planned, well designed, with lot of cuisine and all. The thing is that, but the employees, the staff who are working there, they are not under the payroll of the company, IT company. They are under the payroll of that facility management company, such as Sodexo or JLL. Understood? Now what happened? Many companies, they don't want, because once you recruit so many, it will be a burden for the government as well as for the company. For them, a company gets away, the employees get a very high salary. Whereas if you leave that responsibility to an outsourcing company, you know they have a very marginalized salary. They won't give you, or they won't give you much the benefits. So you will say, I work in that IT company, but later on it is being found that you, no doubt, you work in that IT company, but you are not under the payroll of that IT company. You are working under that facility management company. So this is what now, organizations are doing, because they are running short of staff, and they think this recruitment process is also a very lengthy process. So that is what happens. But yes, there are organizations, when, as you have the head office, and whenever it is a process of recruitment selection, the head office handles all this. Even when there is an, within the office, there is a transfer from one department to another department, that can be handled by the regional officer. But one, if it's an, like a relocation to a different place, then it is handled by the main head office. Okay. So
Yes,
it,
yes, ma'am.
I
I understand.
but I think uh,
Yeah, I get your
but I
point.
think you still have some doubts. You still have
Yeah,
some doubts.
yeah.
Huh?
What I would like to say
Uh,
here
uh,
is,
uh.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Yes, yes. No,
What
no,
I would like
yes,
to say
yes, clear.
is
Huh.
that well, there's something we call internal recruitment in this kind of recruitment, because internal is the process of filling job vacancies with existing employees from or within the organization. So,
See, then.
so suppose, let's say you have and a company has a branch A and branch B, and
Uh-huh.
their employee is in their own payroll. So
Hmm.
when they have the branch A and B, and the employee is working in the branch A, and
Hmm.
there and a need for an employee with that kind of, let's say for an IT department or something like that, is needed
Hmm.
in a company B, organization B. So
Hmm.
they may take that guy, that personnel, to that new company. I can say new organization, the branch, but not
Hmm.
permanently. You cannot stay there permanently. You should just go there to set some things for the company and just have some time there, and later on you
Hmm.
just come back, because they
Yes,
need to
yes.
minimize costs. If you get the
Yes,
point.
yes.
So that
Yes, yes.
happens.
See,
That happens all
yes, that
sometimes.
happens. Yes, you are very right. That only I told you, sometimes, when especially you are on a project, so you are at a higher level position, you just go, just do the setup, then you come back. See, these all, happens with, big companies, well-known companies, and blue chip companies and all, because they give lot of facilities and the revenue is also high for them, the revenue generated. And what you say, even you won't believe, there are so many vacancies are there, which are not been able to filled up by the government only. I'm just talking about in the educational field only. I'm since we are we are in this platform, but this education institutes, I mean colleges and universities, there are a lot of vacancies are been there. I'll just give you an example. But they are not getting the appropriate person. Now, one example I'll tell you, like, you go for a interview for a government organization, and you find 25 persons attend that interview. And after attending the interview, 25% they mention none of them found suitable. So this is what. So out of 25, they have found none of them suitable for that position. But their classes are going on. How do they manage their classes? They have all guest faculties. So if you are a guest faculty, you are like, per hour you will be paying this much and all. I mean, the guest faculties, these guest faculties, they are attached with various universities, colleges. They attend the colleges and come back. But they don't have other parks and benefits. But once, what happened, government is also, that is, you can say cost control. There's a word called cost control. So government is also trying to, they find fund is there, because state is one, and funding has to be there. So that's why I'm telling. And especially in the schools and colleges which are there in the rural areas, I'm talking about, I mean urban, I'm not talking about the urban areas, I'm talking about the rural areas, where there are schools, there are colleges, and the positions are lying vacant. And I mean, it is not in term, in like 10, 20, it is more than 1,000. Some 1,000 positions are vacant. Sometimes it comes in the newspapers, even 1,000 positions are vacant in the schools, colleges in this in state, because nobody wants to go to the state and all. They don't want to work. I mean, they're fine enough. They find, why should I go to the state? I won't get that, because some of them, beside, they are employed in, they have varied, they are not only working for one organization, they're working for many organizations. They have their own businesses, side businesses. So these, I mean, keeps on going. We have, I mean, we have the manpower, we have the resources, we have, but some companies, they don't have the proper workforce. And that is what is very essential, organizations need to learn, because HR department is a very crucial department. I know the job, I'll go and my suppose I my job is to teach, I go and I'll teach. But the HR will find who teaches well, whether it will be suitable, because sometimes they don't want to shift to another place, they don't want to relocate, because the salary structure doesn't match. You are staying in a B class city, and when you are being shifted to A class city, your salary should also match, because your cost of living is higher in those A class cities, A tier cities. And so whenever someone moves from a town to a city, there is also some allowance for that, right? From from moving, because you have a city allowance, that is known as city allowance. You have HRA allowance, house rent allowance. So this varies, and this is I mean, you can say streamlined in government organizations, but private, they don't have, so whenever they feel like, they push you to another, you go to this place, and you do the setup, then you come back. And that is not being mentioned in the offer letter also. So there is a lot of manipulation. I mean, the education system is the one which needs to be straightened up. There's a lot of manipulation is going on. But yes, I just wanted to interrupt you in this manner, but that is about education, because we have this NAP, national education policy, where it has been incorporated in some colleges, and I mean some universities, where suppose you are learning now, you are a full time scholar in a college, you are doing your graduation. But what happens after your graduation is of 3 years course, and you did your graduation till the second year. But that after that, because of some family issues, you have to get a job. So what you stop there, you start earning in a different organization, you stay there for 2 years, then you can come back and rejoin and complete your degree. So that facility is slowly being given, it has been implemented, it has been incorporated in many universities, so that flexibility has to be there. So what your I understood, but the thing is that it varies from organization to organization, and the other thing is HR department always try to exploit people if they think, because it is such HR department is such, they always try to extract from you. And if you are quite I won't say clever, but yes, if you if you're quite a balanced person, if you always find out the do's and don'ts, then you can handle the situation. Otherwise they always have that attitude ki how to grab the maximum from an employee, provided he's a talented. I that actually that day you were I showed a video, maybe I'll share with that video. Plus you can also see in the Google 70 hours work that was being stated by Mr. Narayan Murthy. He's you can see he's a, well-known capitalist, in India, and the IT. He's a co-founder of Infosys company, and he's also a philanthropist. And he said the youngster should work for 70 hours a week. Many of them had reacted to this his message. Now I mean, okay, but his way of saying was positive, but many of them taken to in a negative way. Why should a youngster would work 70 hours a week? There are some other things, but yes, India needs, for the development of a country, you have to work for the 70 hours. So you just I can share you the website. That day I showed the video also. It was a very interesting video, and you can also get to learn many things from that. I mean, like this type of videos where you find the case studies and all. And presently he has said this statement, so there were a lot of opinions. Some of them were against it, some were in favor of that. Yesterday also I was reading something. Some people, they spend lot of time in the office, they act busy, but the output is nil. So that is the thing. So I mean, HR has a very, I mean, responsibility where they need to be, and many things has to be streamlined. Most of the staff, where you see retaining his staff is one important aspect, and the HR is not able to retain, because especially in the hospitality industry, you know you won't find anyone sticking to an industry for a long time in the particular, except Taj and Oberoi's and all. Otherwise they are with an organization for 2 years, then they shift to another. So this keeps on going on. Of course, if you are, because in India we have this Indian Tourism Development Corporation, that is government of India. Then we have the state government tourism corporation. So they are different. But otherwise, those who are working in the tourism sector in private companies, or in hotels, hospital industry, they are always moving. I mean, you will find very, especially the youngsters, you'll find many of them sticking to a particular hotel or hospitality industry more than 5 years. Because one of the reasons is the HR department. I mean, that is that how everything has to be streamlined. So many things are there. Okay, Kaberu, is it so? I'll move to,
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
That's right. And I
okay.
appreciate,
Huh.
and I can't wait to get the video and also the link website.
No, it varies. I mean, that is. So anyway, like we have this promotions and promotion policy. When we talk about promotion, the promotion policy also outlines the process for advancing the employees to higher level positions. That is the reason, higher level positions within the organization. And this policy should include, some criteria for determining the eligibility, as well as some experience for the promotion, and the process for applying. Sometimes what happened, even the interdepartment also, if you wanted to apply for a particular position, you have to apply in a proper channel. Okay, so that is the process you have to apply for promotions. And then there's the evaluation process we have discussed in a previous classes. Evaluation process for selecting the right candidates for the promotion. And it should also address issues such as job performance, your skills. That is the necessary where you need to reskill yourself. Now India has a university, the skill university. It's located in, I mean, near Delhi only. So the skill university where you need to skill yourself in all different areas and all. And there comes also the qualifications and see how much potential you are able to handle that positions. Okay. So the thing is that why these promotions are being given. First thing is, it is one, you can say it is a strategy to retain the employees, reward the employees, to increase their productivity, to increase the individual's effectiveness and also the organization's effectiveness. And there comes the sense of satisfaction in the employee, because unless and until they are satisfied, they cannot give you the maximum output. And then of course, you know, there's always a word loyalty. So that sense of loyalty, you have to build that loyalty, moral and sense of belongingness in the employee. You know, this is my, you know, suppose for example, I am teaching in a class and the AC is working. I'm going to another class, but I'm not switching off the AC. It is not mine, it is company's property. But at home, would you do that? If you're moving from one room to another room, even you switch off your light, even you switch off your fan. But in you know, in your organization, in the offices, you need not bother. Who cares? It's company is paying for. So this is what happens. You should, there should be a sense of belongingness, you know, in the employee. That is what matters. And to impress upon others, then opportunities are open to them also. Then reward policies, coming to the reward policies, basically the reward policy outlines the organization's approach to recognizing and rewarding employees for their contributions in the organization. They are being rewarded for their particular contribution to the organization. And this policy should also include guidelines for determining the types of rewards available, like, you know, reward such as such as कौन क्लास सत्या से ले रहा ना सत्या क्लास ले रहा तो ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है Okay, so you know, and this policy should also include the guidelines for determining the types of rewards available. And what are the different types of rewards available? There you have the bonuses, you have salary increases, or non-monetary rewards. So the criteria for awarding rewards and the process for distributing rewards, there is also a criteria set up. And what happens when you have this reward process, it also addresses issues, as I have also mentioned, like there is accuracy, there is transparency, there is fairness, there is no bias. And the impact of rewards on employee also motivates the employees and also keep them engaged with the organization. So you know, you also, when you get the rewards, you have the opportunity to learn, you get more responsibility, you also get this, you know, you get the appreciation from your customers and clients of the organization. And there's also personal feeling of well-being. And you get a respect when you are being rewarded. You also get a respect from your co-workers, and also, you know, friendship with co-workers. Then you share your thoughts. You know, now everybody is on the social media. You just post a photo, you post it on the social media, and the whole world knows, your friend circle, your peer group and all. So this is also very important. You also feel happy, you also feel delighted. Someone congratulates you, someone appreciates. Every person wants, you know, if I congratulate you, if I appreciate you, you feel happy within yourself. So this is what required to. So there should be a healthy one second, huh? हाँ बोलो. मैं कंप्यूटर लैब में क्यों बोला. मैं क्लास ले लूँ. ठीक है, क्लास ले रही हूँ मैं. So there is you know, there should be a respect and friendship, respect from the co-workers and friendship with the co-workers. So that is very important. Now you have to, yes, continue. Want to tell something. One sec, huh? बोलो. हम्म, हाँ. हम्म. आगे में तो नहीं लेगी. ठीक है, छोड़ो. नहीं लेगी. ठीक है, ओके, आई सी. ठीक है. So you know what happens, there is a need for continual retraining on transfer or promotion. So, you know, at the beginning of 21st century, the impact of rapid technological changes increasing, you have automation, computerization, and other changes, the most prominent factors which affect the government, public sector, and the private sector. However, you know, there's a need for continual training as well as retaining at many levels for employees is very imperative. And as most of the routine, you know, these are the clerical jobs are being remodeled by electronic data processing machines, it is necessary for management to give more and more thought to retaining the employees for changing over to jobs. Okay, then this is once you are being rewarded, you also have the power, and power can be granted through promotion, then organization placement, you have recognition, you have a title. Okay, maybe you are promoted from one level to another, you get the title. For some individuals, you know, you can say it is extremely a powerful motivator. And you know, you have your personal development, you have your career planning. As you know, education and personal growth and development, they are rewards that can be used to motivate a desired performance. And these alternative factors may also become more important in the less hierarchical, automized organizations in the future. So this was all about. I will show you now a small video. Okay, I'll show you a small video. One sec. See, there you have issues and all. One sec. This is not about wait. One. This is the benefit. This is an employee assistant program. I'll just show you this video. 1 minute.
This has been politicized and biased nowadays.
Yeah, you can see a small video. Okay.
In the UK, 1 in 4 people experience mental health problems each year. As an employer, it is your responsibility to support the health and well-being of your workforce. An Employee Assistance Program, or EAP for short, can provide the support your employees need whenever they need it. Through an EAP, your employees can access counselling services, as well as in-house legal and financial information. Whether it's personal or professional challenges, an EAP offers a safe space to talk through it all. Here's why your business needs an EAP. In the UK, every year it costs businesses up to £1,300 per employee whose mental health needs are unsupported. As a result, the mental health of your employees has a direct impact on your business, leading to decreased productivity and loss of revenue. Here at Health Assured, we found out that our EAP services led to a 56% reduction in anxiety or low mood, a 53% reduction in depression, and a 19% reduction in workplace distress. We also found out that 44% of employees return to work after therapy. The EAP Association reports that for every
Hey,
£1 spent on an EAP,
ও
the
ঠিক পরে
average
কথা হবে।
return is 8 pounds. With the Health Assured EAP, your employees can receive a range of support. These include a 24/7 confidential helpline, structured counselling, and over 2,000 accredited counsellors, as well as access to the My Healthy Advantage app. These are just a few ways that our EAP can improve your workplace, not only for your employees, but for your business too. Health Assured, your healthy advantage.
হ্যালো। ହୁଁ। ଟିକେ ୱେଟ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ, ମୁଁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଟିକେ ପରେ ଦଉଛି। ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି। ମୁଁ ଘଣ୍ଟା ପରେ ଦେଇଦେବି। ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି, ଆଧା ଘଣ୍ଟା ପରେ। ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି। ହଁ ହଁ ସିଓର। So you understood how this health assistance programs are there, in different organizations and all. Okay, one sec, 1 minute. Now I'm moving to the next unit. Okay, that is about
Okay, okay.
grievances. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is about disciplinary actions. Uh, So this is about the next unit is unit 20. This is about disciplinary issues and employees grievance handling. Okay, so now once you read this unit, you should be able to define what is the concept of discipline, why discipline is very much necessary, what are the various dimensions of discipline, and what are the factors that lead to discipline. And because once you are in organization, you are bound by rules, regulations, discipline. So what are the factors that leading to indiscipline, when you are not disciplined, when action is being taken against you. Sometimes it is not always it is the organization which I mean I mean it ensures that the employees, they stick to the rules and regulations. So if the employee doesn't properly, the indiscipline is being created by the employee, then action is taken against them. But that is not only the case. There are sometimes you may find that there are some grievances from the employees also. So you need to identify the factors that lead to indiscipline. You also need to identify the various forms of developing, maintaining, and implementing and maintaining positive discipline. Appreciate the underlying concept behind, like suspension, like dismissal and retrenchment, to handle the processes involved, and evolve policies for these actions in the context of your organization that vary from organization. Some of the employees, you'll find they have backbiting. They are always bitching about others. They have this complaint. They always try to complain, make complaints about others, and about their co-workers, about their team members. So that's not I mean, that's a very unhealthy activity. And office politics are there, and all this keeps on. So these are all part of culture of an organization. So you have to be very disciplined. So employee discipline, when we talk about employee discipline, it is the backbone of any successful hospitality organization. And the main function is to keep an organization run smoothly, efficiently, effectively, and with a profit. That is what matters. So what happened, to do this, you need a strong workforce that has to accept certain reasonable standards of behavior at the workplace, and especially effective employee performance that depends on the willingness on the part of the subordinates to carry out the instructions and orders of their superiors, and to abide by the rules and norms of the organization. And there is which we'll discuss now. What is a discipline? Because it is a state of order in an organization. Discipline, if you say doing what needs to be done, even though you don't want to. Sometimes what happens, you are being told, so you should maintain silence in the class, but you are not maintaining. You know what to be done, but still then you are not. So similarly, in the organization which you work for, sometimes you don't feel like, but still then you have to maintain the discipline. So it is basically an attitude of the mind, product of the culture and environment. And discipline cannot be maintained merely with the help of legislative sanctions. It requires the concept of discipline The concept of discipline emerges from the interaction of the seniors with the subordinates. So, so there are some rules and regulations, but these formal rules are always not sufficient enough to cover the wide range of interaction between the seniors and subordinates. So, large part of the behavior and interaction with the subordinates, you can say, is being governed by the informal and unwritten rules and norms. Now, here comes the disciplinary issues. What do you mean by disciplinary issue? When you don't abide by the rules and regulations of the company, you are not disciplined. The disciplinary actions are taken against you. What are disciplinary issues? The disciplinary issue policies, they outline the process for addressing employee misconduct when when they are not conducting as per the company's profile, then they are misbehaving with their subordinates. So it is a process, you can say, for addressing the employee misconduct or performance issues. And the policy should also include the guidelines for determining the appropriate course of action for different types of misconduct, and also the process of investigating and addressing disciplinary issues and the potential consequences for employees who violate the company laws. There are some company rules and regulations. So if you violate the company rules and regulations, and disciplinary action is being taken. So it should also address issues such as due process, then fairness and consistency in applying disciplinary measures. So, various socio-economic and cultural factors, they play a role in creating indiscipline in an organization. So, often indiscipline may arise because of the employees. Why does indiscipline arise? We will learn about grievances because they also have some, they think that they are not being paid well as per their inputs, and so there are always grievances. So in the meantime, maybe they don't come on time, they don't get the work done on time. So this type of indiscipline, this may arise because of employees grievances or poor management on the manager's part. So there should be insensitive and thoughtless words and deals from handling a manager or potent reasons for subordinates who resort to acts of indiscipline. And there's a defective communication by the superiors, and indiscipline by the subordinate may be also an outcome of the manager's non-response to his or her grievance also. Now, for every misconduct and act of indiscipline, a manager have to take disciplinary action against the concerned employee. Why? Because to institute this kind of positive discipline among the subordinates, the manager must ensure that rules and regulations are properly, structured. They are reasonable, very legitimate and clear. If I write something, and if I'm the HR manager, and if there's some rules and regulations, if you are not able to understand what it says or what it means, so that, I mean, that has a very negative impact, because that is the reason where the rules, every organization some has some companies rules guidelines, and the rules and regulations should be very reasonable, legitimate and also very clear. And the subordinates are specially involved in framing these rules and regulations so that they willingly accept them. And proper and clear notices to be given of the consequences of breaking rules. So there is always a consistency and uniformity of punishment, and human personality should be treated with very dignity. That is, that because once you are not being given respect or in the organization, you feel like demotivated. So whatever action, it should be always like, it should be treated with dignity. So there should be, he or she should set high standards, which is very important. Then if you are not able to perform the work properly, then you are being suspended. And suspension, what does it mean? It means like prohibiting an employee from performing his duties assigned to him, and withholding his wages for as long as that the prohibition continues. So what is, suppose you are being suspended for 1 week, so you are not able to come to the organization or work, or for that particular period of time, your salary, your wage, I mean salary, is also being deducted. And during the period of such provision, the contract of employment between an employer and the employee is said to be under suspension, and the employee is said to have been suspended. So, in other words, suspension does not mean termination of service, but only denial of work for some time, with or without pay. It depends, whatever the contract between the employer and the employer permits. So, I told you there's always a contract between the employer and employee. So, that what happens. Then you have dismissal and discharge. Then dismissal means termination of service or contract as a punishment for a serious misconduct. When there's a serious misconduct by the employee, then you are being treated. I mean, you are being punished for that particular. And what happened? This type of issues. This is an employee can give for disciplining employees as last resort. So usually the company, or the organization does not provide. I mean, that usually, unless and until it is a very, you can say something indiscipline at a higher level is conducted on such way, then only such dismissal is being given. Otherwise, uh, once you are being dismissed, it carries a stigma, and which may prevent the dismissed person from getting another job. So these are it is on this account that these terms are often used indiscriminately by employers and employees in the labor courts. But there is a distinction between the two expressions. The 2 points that need to be noted in this connection are, as while dismissal is a punishment for some misconduct, whereas discharge is not always a punishment. Okay, the discharge is like, sometimes if you leave a company and all, you are giving a discharge certificate so that you can leave the company and then you can join another company. So whereas dismissal is a punishment for some misconduct, whereas discharge is not always a punishment. They always say ki, you should have your experience certificate or your discharge letter. So that is the act and omissions for which the punishment of discharge may be inflicted are generally the same for which the extreme punishment of dismissal would be warranted. However, on consideration of equity, expediency, or extenuating circumstances, it may be deemed desirable by the employer to discharge an employee instead of dismissing him or her. This is very important. Okay, so retrenchment and layoff. What do you mean by layoff? Retrenchment is basically a termination of
Yeah,
service for reasons. Hmm.
I don't know if I can ask a question,
Tell
please.
me.
Regarding this discharge and dismissal,
Hmm.
yeah, which one of them is, I can say, a permanent disengagement of an employee between
Dismissal,
the discharge and dismissal?
discharge. Now, there are two words. Discharge means, suppose, that's why I told. Discharge means, suppose you're working in an organization, okay, and now you want to join another organization. Suppose, so when you leave that organization, you should apply for that. Your experience certificate. You have to apply that you want to resign from that organization. So you have to give a resignation letter. So once you give the resignation letter, you are being given a discharge letter. Discharge means now you can leave the organization and apply for other jobs. So beside the experience letter, you are also being given a discharge letter. So that is whereas dismissal is for a particular period of time, means you are being it's a punishment is given for some misconduct. You may again, you are there in the organization, okay, and or if they find that no, you should be given severe punishment, then they may dismiss you or something. But sometimes what happen, for a particular, that suspension, the word suspension comes, you are being suspended for a particular period of time. Now dismissal and this discharge, they are, you can say, related, but it should be properly understood. Dismissal is always a punishment. You are being dismissed because of a punishment, whereas discharge is not for punishment. You might have got a better job, so obviously the existing company you're working there, you have to you apply for the resignation. Then once you are being given the experience letter, you also have to ask for the discharge letter, because these two are very important when you join another organization. They always ask for the discharge letter and also ask for your experience. Discharge means there are nothing against anything in that, I mean, you can easily join the company. There is no you can say no stigma, like you can say, like once you leave a company and join another company, so you are being given the discharge letter, means now you can very uh, hopefully you can join another organization. Okay, so the
Yeah,
act and
understand.
omissions, huh? Hmm. You understood?
Yes, ma'am. Understood. Understood.
Okay, okay. Huh. And retrenchment and layoff. Retrenchment is, you can see, it is a termination of service for reasons of redundancy or surplus to requirement. Then there is a, you need the company, especially in the IT sector, you will find all these layoff and retrenchment. You will find even in Google, you will find just a month, 2 months ago, Sundar Pichai, he is with Google. I'm as well as that ABC company. So what happened? There was a retrenchment and layoff. It was so, and it is not only 100, 200, some thousand of employees. So what is there? Why do this retrenchment and layoff takes place? It takes place when there is a surplus of workforce. That is why. So retrenchment also does not include voluntary retirement, retirement and termination on the grounds of ill health. By a recent amendment, non-renewal of contract is not to be regarded as retrenchment. See, you are working for suppose in some organization there is a contract, you work for this organization for a contract period of 5 years. So nobody can usually, unless and until, some issues are being created. So you are with their organization in a contract for the 5 years. So non-renewal of contract is not to be regarded as retrenchment. Okay, suppose your contract is not renewed, so it doesn't mean that it is a retrenchment. It is an act of retrenchment. So according to the Supreme Court of India, the highest court of India, and also the that's located in New Delhi. Retrenchment has been defined is not to be as defined in the act is not to be given any wider meaning than the ordinarily accepted connotation of the one and termination of service of a workman for any reason other than he was surplus would not constitute. So you can say retrenchment, in other words, termination of services on account of disciplinary action or prolonged illness or retirement and superannuation or expiry of contract, and these all comes under retrenchment. Wherein layoff is also not a termination of service, it is only a temporary denial of employment due to the circumstances beyond the control of the employee. Suppose there is surplus of staff, then workforce, they want to reduce the workforce, then there is some issues with the organization, they want to reduce the productivity and all. So maybe there's non-availability of raw materials or some stocks, shortage of stocks or something. So that is where layoff takes place. Now come grievances. Grievances means when you have something to say against the company. You're working for a company and you think, these are the issues, these are the problems. So what is grievance? What is grievance? The grievance policy basically it outlines the process for employees to raise concerns or raise complaints about their work environment, treatment by the colleagues or supervisors, or other issues that affect their employment. And this policy should also include guidelines for how grievances should be raised, and is the process for investigation and addressing the grievances, and the right of the and also the right of the employees to appeal decisions related to the grievances. They have to appeal to the whom? They have to appeal to the head of the department. There's a grievance cell also. Organizations, they have a grievance cell where you can put your grievance, and the HR manage addresses all those grievances. So it should also, and those grievances, whenever it is usually been addressed in a confidential manner, and protection against retaliation, and the role of HR or other designated person is the one who resolves these grievances. So by having, you can say, by having clear and well defined policies for disciplinary issues and grievances, the organizations can always ensure that their employees are being treated well, they are being valued. Then if there any conflicts arises, it can be resolved, it can be addressed in a timely manner and in a very effective manner. And this also helps to create a very positive working environment, a healthy working environment, and prevent issues from escalating into more serious problems, you can see. So basically, grievances dissatisfaction, you can say, and they initially find expression in the initially it was comes in the form of a complaint, and when a complaint remains unattended and the employee concerned feels a sense of lack of justice, and fair play, then the dissatisfaction grows and it assumes the status of a grievance. See, suppose a small complaint is there and that is being handled properly, then issue, okay, it has been sorted out. But you see that the complaint is lagging, for the last few days, weeks, it is not been properly taken, handled, not been properly addressed. No justification is there, there is a foul play and all. So dissatisfaction grows and assume the status of a grievance. So usually grievance, when we talk about, they relate to the problems of interpretation or perceived non-fulfillment of one's expectations from the organization. And grievances can be unvoiced or stated, in which case it can be either written or oral. Usually what happens when we there is a grievance form also, you might have seen in many organizations, all this, especially the service sectors and all, you have this grievance form. You can write your name, time, date, your issues, from when are you facing these problems and all. So that usually it is in a written, usually in written form. Because once it is an oral is, you don't have the written documentation, because documentation is very important. So that is the reason where if it is a written, then will be documented properly. So this is what, like we need to have this willpower control. There are to we I mean how to handle these situations and all, because there are a lot of dissatisfaction. And once these grievances are properly being handled, it can resolve issues, it can resolve the habits. And then you can more, very coolly you can focus on your work. That is what importance. And once the employees are being, they properly handle the work, then obviously it would increase their productivity, and it also increase the productivity of the organization. So that is about grievances. Though this unit was about disciplinary issues and grievances handled. And there are, as I told you, there's a the organizations, they have different grievances nowadays, like hospitality industries, hotels, and even, you can put it to your grievances, they are being taken care of. Even all this, online shopping, all this, you have Amazon, you have Flipkart, and online shopping platforms where you can put on your grievances, and they always give that feedback, how would you rate that company. So, and they suppose there are 5 stars, so how would you rate? If you rate it 5, then it is fine. If you have rated 1, then what is your grievance? So you can write, so that they can take care of. And I think this is a, like, it's like a feedback. Not always, when you give a feedback, and when your feedback is not being taken care of, then you put to a grievance, like. So once your feedback is being addressed properly, then the grievance doesn't arise. But if your feedback, if it's a positive feedback, good enough. If it's a negative feedback, then obviously, if it is not being handled, so every human being, would get dissatisfied at some point of time. So that is, it varies from organizations to organizations, how grievances are being handled. Okay. So I'll one more PPT is there. I'll show you the PPT, then I'll show you the video. I think one video also. I have 1 minute, how to handle a grievance, huh? Kabiru,
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
uh, you have any questions?
No, ma'am. It is understood, ma'am.
Okay.
Grievances is this.
Hmm. Tell me, grievances is.
I said I understand it well.
Acha, you understood it well, huh? I've shown you 2 videos, na? Okay. One sec. Um, 1 minute, huh? I've shown you that assistant program. This I haven't with. I think I'll give you an employment assistance program. Wait, let me just one second.
Being in mental health. Now the number one reason for staff absence.
Wait, I'll show you one more video. Okay, 1 minute.
You might want to be
1 second. Mhm. This is
one reason for staff absence. How happy your staff there is clear evidence that working with staff safe, secure, and supportive improves their mental health and well-being, which benefits the organization. Workplace counseling is a positive intervention which enables employees to speak openly and honestly with trained counselor about the issues affecting them, personal and work-related issues. Counselor will help the employees find their own solution or develop better ways to manage the issues. So they can successfully navigate their way forward. Both array can help increase productivity and motivation, increase employees' engagement, improve employees' health and well-being, reduce absenteeism. Hope Array Workplace Counseling Services available online, in person, and over the call. Flexible to suit the different needs. And cost of the organization. If you want to know more about Hope Array or workplace counseling, log on to www.hopearray.com or email.
so. This is basically a thing. I mean, it was. You saw the video, na?
Yes, ma'am. This I think this.
Mhm. So this is. Hmm. This is basically yes, like counseling. I showed you like why a lot of because sometimes what happens, all this suspension, dismissal, then when the grievances are not being handled properly, the employees face a lot of mental health issues. So they have to counseling. Yesterday, which we had the class on counseling. So counseling is very important for any organization and in basically like the last one is about compensation and salary administration. I'll just show you the PPT, huh? Once 1 minute.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Yes, here comes compensation and salary and sorry, it is compensation and salary administration. This is unit 21. This is very important, because you work so hard and like in basically in addition to addressing the disciplinary issues and then grievances and all, organizations always they need to have clear policies and procedures and which are being properly framed so that in place for compensation and salary administration it is viable. That is what salary administration is all about, and this includes like especially providing guidelines how to fix the salaries and on what basis. Then what are the if you give extra hours for the work, you are being given bonuses. Then you have incentives when you you have been given a target. When you achieve your target, you have been given incentives. And there are different forms of compensation, as well as the process also depends on evaluating and adjusting compensation based on the performance, how the employees, their performance are being their performance the performance of the employees are being evaluated. So based on that, as well as additional like market trends, what is the trends going on now. So depending on this, and there are other many factors where your salary is being fixed. So that is here you once you go through this unit, you should be able to understand what are the aims of salary administration, how the salary, what are the principles of salary formulation, and how the salary structure is designed, and what are the steps involved in salary progression and the procedures for administering salary systems. Now see, we talked about this employee, I mean, this is about employee compensation. Now one thing I told you, we are celebrating this coming Sunday. Today is Wednesday, so Sunday we are having Diwali celebration. Okay, so many of the organizations, I'm talking about the private organizations, they will be getting bonuses, and they may be getting gifts, and then there are sweets and all. And some gifts are very expensive gifts. Some companies, they give also one I mean, a very costly, gold rings or diamond rings and all. I mean, that is also there. But minimum, usually companies, they give a sweet packet for their on I mean employees. Then there are some, like, they get gift vouchers. Then they may be getting some bags, laptops, and those type of so now everybody is like very eager, like what type of gift they'll be getting. So now this we are talking about I mean, in bonuses and all. So now here, employee, when we talk about employee compensation, it is an extremely important issue for every manager. And over the years, compensation has also become a very complicated issue also, because there are suppose you are working, and you are working in a factory, and by chance, your finger gets I mean, somehow you get harm, so you are being compensated. The company takes care of your health, like medication, your hospitality and all. So these type of compensations are being given by different companies for their employees. You have this medical benefits, you have this insurance, health insurances and all, that is being done by the company. Now it varies from company to company. Sometimes whatever you fell sick, so what happened, you have this medical insurance. And whenever you are being treated by doctor, and the medicines that been prescribed by the doctor, those are being covered by the insurance companies. You just show the bill to the insurance companies, and the insurance companies pays for that. Now who pays the insurance to these insurance companies? The company you are working for. The company you're working for, they pay for the insurance company. So the company you're working for, beside the salary structure, they also gives you all this type of bonuses, incentives, insurances, medical health benefits and all. Okay, so and are properly planned and administered. And when you have it is not only a salary, but you also have lot of benefits or perks that is being given by the company. So when we talk about compensation policies, compensation policies, they should also address issues like as pay equity, then non-discrimination, then transparency in how the compensation decisions are being made, are being framed. Now this can also help the employees, that so that they are satisfied, that they think they are fairly being compensated for their work, and that there is a trust and confidence in the organization's approach to compensation. So, a properly planned and administered salary system. When we are talking about the salary system, a properly planned and administered salary system is one of the most important aspects of modern management. and deciding how and what should people be paid and what is covered under salary administration. See, in the salary, just suppose if you're working for any outsourced company, you are just given a lump sum. I mean, you are given a consolidated pay package, consolidated salary. That means every month you are getting 40,000. Okay, every month you're getting 40,000. But when you're working for a government organization or a well-known company, you'll find in the salary structure there is deduction for your insurance. There's deduction for your gratuity. There is deduction for your provident fund. So they will deduct this amount. For a minimum, very. I mean, you can say a minimum amount is being deducted from your salary, especially when you get all this, so that you also think, you also have some contribution for this, and the company also, the organization also, they only pay for majority part, like three-fourth, one-fourth you pay. It is like that. But a minimum amount is being deducted from your salary, so that see, you won't take medical benefits always. Okay, you may be taking after 6 months, or you may not take even after 3 years also, but that amount is being deducted every month from your salary. So that is how the salary has to be structured, and that is what how the decision deciding how and what people should be paid or should be covered, that all comes under salary administration. So we shall try to unravel the complexities of employee compensation and understand what are the basic factors that affect salary administration. So you need to pay attention, and more dynamic aspects such as salary progression policies and procedures needs to be examined. So what are the aims of salary administration? Basically, the aim of salary administration is to develop and maintain a salary system of policies and procedures. And a well-developed salary system will help your organization to attract you, retain you, and motivate the people of the acquired caliber and qualifications. And such a system should also be able to control your payroll cost. That is what is very important. And so you can see, it is, it would, how the employee is being benefited, because I told you the employee should also think, I am giving so much, I'm working for this organization for the last so many years, I should also get benefit, even it is in a very small amount. Suppose now today's medical, has been, I mean, it has become very expensive. Wherever, if you go to a doctor, if you go for any test, and all those are very expensive. But yes, if you can get all the bills, and later on you can show it to the company, then the company would reimburse you, because every month they are deducting some amount from your salary. So that is very important. So it is collectively money useful for the organization as well as for the staff. So, principles of salary formulation. So, what are the steps? So, these are the main factors that affect salary levels within an organization. Now, there are the external relativities, where market rates as affected by supply and demand and general movements in pay level. There is what is the market level, what is the market demand, what is the supply. As per the supply, your salary is also being formulated in such a manner. Okay. Then internal relatives, salary relatives between jobs within the organization depending on the values attached to different jobs. Then individual worth, the value of the individual's performance to the organization, your performance, that also makes a very positive impact. Okay, so what are the components of salary administration and pay structure? The starting point of salary administration is the determination of salary levels, and salary levels are basically determined by the process of job evaluation. And as we have already discussed in a previous units, that it is job evaluation is basically a systematic method of appraising the value of each job in relation to other jobs in the organization. So this is what you need to do. This is, you have to identify the key tasks that has to be accomplished by the employees of the organization, and the various dimensions that is being attached to the job, and thereby you have to arrange them in a hierarchy of grading. Obviously, who is the CEO of the company, who is the director or the general manager of the company, they are getting lot of benefits, a lot of perks with their salary. Okay, so it depends on the hierarchy, how that grading system. So once you arrived at the salary levels with the help of the job evaluation, you should be more concerned with the design and maintenance of salary structures, the operation of salary progression systems, the administration and control of salary reviews, and the design and operations of other allowances. Now you have this basic pay, components of pay structure. How what are there in the pay structure? It consists of several elements, like your what is your basic salary, then you have DNS allowance, you have the house rent allowance, you have city compensatory allowance. I gave you an example. You are moving from a three-tier city to a from a capital from a capital city to be a metro city. Okay, so there is three tier, two tier, one tier city. So you're moving from one city to another city. So you get a city compensatory allowance. Then there's an annual statutory bonus. That is, you get a bonus and incentive if you work for extras or you are in the marketing or all these insurance companies. They get lot of incentives, and their incentives are very expensive. Their they are very not. I'm sorry. Those incentives that they get, those are very eye catching in the sense, there's a holiday at an international destination. So usually those who are working in the insurance companies, and they tell you you have to go for your medical insurance every year. You pay 20,000 for your medical insurance, but you haven't taken the benefits so much. Touch wood, why should you take the unless and until you have to, like, every year you are paying 20,000 to the insurance companies. And so the company you are paying, some sales executive is trying to sell you that insurance, and once you buy the insurance, they get a incentive, and those incentives are at a very, I don't know, they are very lavish, you can say, in the sense, if you complete the target, if you earn 6 lakhs a month, for example, then you will be given if you earn 20 lakhs a year, then you would get a with your family, holidaying in a tourist destination, international destination with your family for 5 nights 6 days. So this type of thing. So basic wage, this is over a period. This basic pay is a stable wage paid over a period of time. So basically, this is on monthly basis. When you work for an organization, you are on monthly basis. But if you are like a laborer or such, you pay for your wage. That wage is being paid on the depending on the hours you work. Okay, maybe for 1 hour you get 10, 100. So for this much hours you will be getting this. So it is basically, you can say, in other words, it is the price to be paid to get a given job done. Then you have this DNS allowance. This is basically was instituted by a government to protect the wage earners' real income, but neutralizing the increased cost of living. You have to neutralize the increased cost of living. So that was here where this DA was instituted, to protect the wage earners' real income by neutralizing the increased cost of living. And when these are every sometimes once or three, four times in a year, the DNS allowance. Those who are working for the government, they are getting DNS allowance. So this DNS allowance was basically given to give relief to the worker in inflationary conditions by trying to offset the cost of living with an additional allowance. And the flat rate system provides a lump sum payment to the employees over a period of time to adjust for the growth in the inflation. So this system is very easy and simple and easy to administer. These all comes under the pay structure. Okay. See, and there are some of, and over the years, some of them have become very statutory. Means they are getting
Sorry,
every year.
if I can interrupt you.
Huh,
Yeah,
huh.
talking of this DNS allowance,
Hmm.
I think it was implemented over here in Nigeria just recently because
Acha, acha, it was in where?
yes, because in the previous 2 days it was paid to the only federal government employees, workers,
Hmm.
only the federal government workers, because it was implemented due to the, I think,
Yes, federal
the fuel,
government.
yeah, due to the fuel subsidy that had been removed in a couple of months.
Okay, I
So
see.
they implement, yeah, they
Huh.
have removed the oil subsidy, so they implemented the DNS allowance because due to the inflation
They
of
have
the,
implemented.
say,
Okay.
yeah, inflation
Can
of
you?
the,
Okay, that's good. So now you understand. See, those who are working in the government, they get a good DNS allowance. But those who are in the private, their DNS allowance is very low. Again, those who are working in the state government, their advances is lower than the government. The one you are discussing, like, Nigeria has implemented. If you can send me, that write up the article, I would appreciate. Okay, so I just wanted to go through. It would be an information for me also. If you can send me
Okay,
that
ma'am.
article. Okay,
I
Kaviru.
will check for
Okay,
it, ma'am.
good, good.
I will check
Huh.
for it.
Okay, okay. Huh. You check, you find in your website where it can be found, and let me. I mean, you can mail it to me, right?
No problem,
So,
ma'am.
okay,
In the same government, we have
okay.
only some
There are.
few I can say workers in the same government, especially in my state. We are about 4 million individuals in the state, but I think it's only about 70,000 people that are in the government. I mean, that are working
Ah,
in the state government. So you see,
okay, okay.
all the rest are just looking for their ways to survive.
Yes, yes, what you, I mean, that's truly, but that it varies from organizations to organization, what I mean to say. And there are also, other, like, by virtue of being a member of a big hospitality organization, an employee receives a number of other benefits, some in cash, and these are generally referred to as prerequisites of fringe benefits. Those are the small benefits. So those are known as
Yes.
fringe benefits. Suppose if you are working in the if you are working in the hotels, or if you're working in the restaurant, being an employee, if you eat in that restaurant, you will get 20% discount. If you buy some like cakes or pastries or bakery items from that particular outlet, then you get 20% discount. So there are different types of fringe benefits, but many of this have no direct link to the work or output of a worker. So that is what I told you, get a 20% discount, but it does not have a direct output, or a link to the work or output of a worker. So over the years, some of these have become statutory. So this
Yes.
include basically compensatory city allowance, then you have the house rent allowance, then you have the LTC, that is the leave travel concession, you have the provident fund, then you have the gratuity, then you have this insurance I told you, group linked insurance scheme, then you have the pension after superannuation or after retirement, you get pension also, then medical benefits, that is really very important. ESIS is also a medical benefit, okay. And so this is what all this you get from the company you're working for. Not all company
But
provides,
uh,
okay.
but
So
the
hmm,
pension is hardly getting. The pension is hardly getting because people will retire for some years without getting their pension and gratuity as well. In
hmm. You have to unmute yourself. You muted yourself.
okay,
Unmute it.
okay. I don't know if I can hear you now.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, I said
hmm.
the
What were
pension.
you saying?
Yeah, the pension in you said I mean
Hmm.
the pension after the retirement. It is hardly gotten. It is hardly
Hmm.
gotten by the retired employees because in my country, I
Yes,
think the
yes.
pension.
Uh,
No, you should have.
pension. Hmm.
Should
Yes,
have.
but those who are working for the government, central government and state government, they get all this pension. And even in some companies also, like blue chip companies and all, they don't get a pension, but and during the retirement or during their superannuation, they get a lump sum amount, and that lump sum amount is some like you can say a few lakhs and crores, like this, like we have this coalfield companies and all, they get after the retirement, if they work for more than so many years, then they get around some crores of rupees. They don't get
So, ma'am,
pension, but yes, in
I don't know
government,
if I
if you're
can.
working there.
You make mention some. I think some numbers now. Lakh. I mean, lakh is that 100,000 there. But what about the cross? I don't know about the numbers in Hindi.
Oh, it is see, 100 lakhs is equal to 1 crore. Lakhs. Lakhs. So suppose you are getting 50 lakhs.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Lakh,
when
lakh,
it is,
lakh is 100,
yes,
100,000 is lakh, huh?
huh,
Yeah.
so
So meaning that,
100 lakh is equal to 1 crore, 100 lakhs.
okay, okay, I get it, I
1
get it.
lakh, 2 lakh. When you get 100 lakhs, that means it is equivalent to 1 crore. So after
Okay, ma'am.
superannuation, you get 1 crore. But you don't have that pension scheme. Money. Pension means every scheme, every month you get I mean, in the sense, an amount fixed you get. And when this DNS allowance is there included in this, so whenever there is a DNS allowance, they get more increase in the pension salary they get. Pension
Yes, ma'am.
salary, okay. That is very
Yes, ma'am.
important. So that is pension is better always. But that only government and private organizations they only offer. Others they don't offer. So,
What do you,
جماله.
one of the major aims of a job evaluation is to design the salary structure in which the jobs can be easily graded on the basis of an assessment of their relative value to the organization. That is what is important. Okay. So, oh, sorry, wait. Huh. So one of the major aims of a job evaluation is to design the salary structure in the which the jobs can be correctly graded on the basis of an assessment of the relative value to the organization, and ensure that the salaries are in line with the market rates. And also, while designing a salary structure, you are trying to provide internal equity in grading and paying the staff to maintain the competitive rates of pay. And this naturally, it cannot be achieved. Your chaotic set of rates and systems of payment exist in your organization. So salary structure, they has to be always to be, redesigned. That is what is very much necessary. So you can evolve your salary structure, which may be one of the following or a combination of them: graded salary structure and salary progression curves. So this is, basically this. I mean, this is all being designed by the HR department also. So you have the salary budgets. You have to make a budget. Then what is the cost of living? Or general reviews of salary levels. Then individual salary reviews. Then you have this framing the salary levels. So when you are joining, when you are being given a promotion, then obviously your pay structure increases. You are at a pay structure at this supervisory level. So you have worked for 5 years, and every year there is an you get an increment. Like it depends from company. Some may give 5% increment, some may give 3%, some may get 5, some may 10-20%. But once you are being given a promotion, you move to the next level, then your pay band changes, then you are at a higher band. So obviously, again, when you are in that pay band, you are getting again, I mean, more salary with that, structure. So that is depending all this, what happens. Okay. So, framing salary levels or joining on promotion, that is how it happens. And then you have other allowances, like I told you, what other other allowances, like like you have incentive schemes, you have bonuses, then you have this festival is coming, so those type of allowances also. Then if you wanted to buy a vehicle, you get home loans, you get different loans also. Suppose if you are going to the bank, suppose if you're if you're an employee of this organization, then the bank would give a rate which is those who are working for the, suppose we are working for the educational organization. Now if we want to take a bank loan from the bank, from the financial company, we want to take a loan from the financial company to buy a vehicle, then they would give us like at around 12% rate, interest per year, 12% interest per year. But those who are working in the bank, for them it is very low. That is not even, I mean, 6%, 4%, because they are the employees of the bank, so they get this type of allowances. So even if those who are working, even if you suppose if you are working from the company, government organizations, you can also take loan also. You can take your, loan from the organization. That is also, you can get some, like a particular fund is there, like contingency fund and all, you can take. Some organizations, they also provide you educational loan for your children, your fees of the fees of the schools, colleges, there, those are being paid by the company. There are companies also. And even you defense, so they pay so much, those who are working for the defense, even the grocery items and any items, they get huge discount. So all this type of allowances are there. So basically, improving efficiency will naturally lower your cost, and it is recommended that wage incentives should be used for effective utilization of manpower, which is the cheapest, quickest, and surest means of increasing productivity. And wage incentive is always an extra financial motivation. Obviously, it motivates you. And also, a wage incentive scheme is the payment for work of an acceptable quality produced over and above a specified quantity or standard. And you can apply incentive scheme to an individual, a group, or to all employees in your organization. So you have this all this group insurance and all. Suppose if you are working for the organization, it is not only the one you are benefited, your family members are also getting the benefit, like health insurance and all this. Okay. So summary, like to summarize, so you can say, like, salary administration should be approached as a management tool to attract, retain, and develop the required quality and quantity of human resources within your organization. And always a well defined, you can say, a well defined, a well designed and well defined and properly administered salary system that should not only reward your employees, but only with the materials remuneration, but they also think that they should be deserved. See, sometimes it is not only the salary you get, the benefits you get, the promotions and all you get, that has a different impact, on the employee. Okay. So they will also act as, it acts as a motivating factor. So this, I hopefully, we have also discussed about the various statutory requirements of pay fixation, and it helps you develop your skills in formulating and designing salary structures. These are very essential, because tomorrow you may not work for the HR department, but yes, when you join an organization, you are aware of all this. That is what is very important. You may not be working for that, but what are the, what do you mean by salary standardization, salary structure, what are the allowances, what is the promotion criteria, what are the rules, regulations. So it has explained all the rationale of salary administration, and how do one need to evaluate, how would you get your performance enhanced. So by having clear and well defined policies for whether it's compensation or whether it's for salary structure, organizations can ensure that their employees are fairly compensated, and that there is always a transparency and fairness in how this salary structure is being framed or made. So this can always help to attract the employees, and at the same time, they would also help to retain the employees, and motivate them, then motivate the employees. And usually they can also enhance their knowledge, skills, by providing them training, and so that they can perform their best and always create a productive working environment. So that is very important. So that was all for today's class. One sec, Kaberu, are you there? Yes.
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
So so there is also Sehu, I could see, huh? So yes, did you understand? Hope, like today's class on this transfer, promotion, then disciplinary issues, grievances, how to handle the grievances, then compensation and salary administration. We discussed about this. I think tomorrow the remaining, we have another 3 units which can be discussed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, and we
Mm.
appreciate for the detailed explanation.
Thank you. 1 minute. No, no, I mean,
Okay,
you
ma'am.
can always have any. I hope I could answer your question. That was important. And the one I told you, about the article, you can send it to me. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I'll do
So
so.
I can always have a one sec. Huh?
Okay.
Mm. So I can have a detailed study on that also, and I'll be sending you the PPTs. Okay. So
Yeah, thank
okay,
you, ma'am.
I hope we I hope we enjoyed the learning.
Very well.
Kaberu, Sehu, and Abdullah. Okay. So take care and try to attend tomorrow's class.
No
Okay.
problem, ma'am. We must be there. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you. Huh? Thank you.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you. Thank you, Sehu. Thank you,
Next,
Abdullah. Thank you for attending the class. Okay.
next
Thank you.
time,
Okay, you are welcome, ma.
we really
Okay.
appreciate. Next time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Namaskar.